Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Saturday, the 18th of October, and news broke late last night that Prince Andrew, and I don't think anybody's actually surprised by this, made a statement yesterday saying that he will no longer use my titles or honours which have been conferred upon me. Now, it was a royal communications, a statement by Prince Andrew, and here is the statement in full. In discussion with the King and my immediate and wider family, we have concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. I have decided, as I always have, to put my duty to my family and country first. I stand by my decision of 5 years ago to stand back from public life. With His Majesty's agreement, we feel I must now go a step further. I will therefore no longer use my title or the honours which have been conferred upon me. As I have said previously, I vigorously denied the accusations against me. Now, what does this mean? It means that he is no longer going to be using his title, the Duke of York, and he will no longer be able to be a member of the Knight and Garter. Now, let me be very clear, he's not been stripped of his titles, much like Harry and Meghan, when they said that they were no longer going to use their HRH title. Now, in November 2019, Buckingham Palace released a statement that announced that Andrew was suspending his public duties for the foreseeable future. In January 2022, he stopped using his HRH. It was not formally removed, he just stopped using it, much like Harry and Meghan also said that they were going to do. Now, the BBC have reported that he has voluntarily handed back his titles and to give his membership of the Order of the Garter, the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain, which is ironic when you actually look at what Prince Andrew is very, very famous for. And Sky News have also reported that Prince Andrew is giving up his Duke of York title. He will also give up his knighthood as a Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order and his Garter role as a Royal Knight Companion of the Most Noble Order of the Garter. He will retain the dukedom, which can only be removed by an Act of Parliament, but will not use it. Prince Andrew will also remain as a prince, as the son of the late Queen Elizabeth II. This is a very important bit. He's not been stripped. It's not been taken away from him. It still is there, but he's not going to use it. The difference with Harry and Meghan is that they have stopped using their HRH, yet they still are allowed to use the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Andrew has voluntarily said that he will no longer use his dukedom. He will no longer be known as the Duke of York, and interestingly, neither will Sarah Ferguson. She will no longer be allowed to call herself the Duchess of York. He still remains Prince Andrew, and Eugenie and Beatrice are still Prince and Princess because they are still the grandchildren of the late monarch and the nieces of the current monarch. I have to state this unequivocally. He's not been stripped, although I strongly, and this is only my opinion, I strongly think that he has been forced to do this. But he's fallen on his sword and said, oh, I've decided to do this myself, with discussion with the king and my family. So why has this all come about? Well, it's all about Epstein again. And there's two reasons I believe why this has come about now. The first reason is that there is a posthumous autobiography by the late Virginia Giuffre is due to be published this Tuesday, and she's the one that has alleged that she was trafficked for Prince Andrew. And we can all remember the infamous Newsnight interview that happened in 2019. I actually did a video on it. Interestingly enough, YouTube took it down. During this interview, Emily Matis actually pushed him to say, when did you cut all ties with Epstein? And he said that he went over to New York in 2010 for the sole purpose of breaking off any future relationship with him. Well, that turns out that's completely untrue, because it's transpired that he did in fact have contact with him after that New York visit. But what's actually transpired is that it was published last week that showed Prince Andrew had stayed in touch with Epstein much longer than he claimed during that BBC Newsnight interview. So he'd previously insisted that he cut all ties with Epstein in December 2010, but it's been published that newly leaked correspondence appears to show him writing to Epstein in February 28, 2011, and in that message Prince Andrew stated that they were in this together and would need to rise above it, suggesting ongoing contact between the pair. And this is when the photo of him, Virginia Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell was published. We've also have to add into the mix about Sarah Ferguson. Now, she denied that she had any contact with Epstein, but a private email was actually published where she contradicted her own public claim to have cut links with Epstein. Now, the upcoming book by Miss Giuffre, which is going to be published next week, accuses Andrew and says that he was entitled and believed having sex with her was his birthright. Now, Prince Andrew has always denied these allegations. We also had the fallout of when Prince William was seen at the Duchess of Kent's funeral to actually reprimand Prince Andrew for laughing and giggling. We've also, yesterday evening, the US House Oversight Committee also released documents from Epstein's estate showing that Prince Andrew is listed as a passenger on his private jet from Luton to Edinburgh in 2006 alongside Ghislaine Maxwell. He was also listed on another flight to West Palm Beach, Florida in 2000. Now, while these have been out in circulation for some time, and I think that this has added more pressure to the situation, and it's become untangible and intolerable for the royal family. And I suspect, and it is being reported, that not only has the King put pressure on Andrew, but Prince William has as well. It is completely marring every good that the royal family is doing, and it's acting as a cloud over everything that they do. It is everywhere at the moment with regards to Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, that their ties to Jeffrey Epstein are not only there, but they've also equally lied about it. And I think there lies the issue. Andrew told Newsnight that he had no contact with Epstein after meeting him in New York. It has been proven that that is a lie. Same as Sarah Ferguson. She said that she cut ties with him. That has also been proven a lie. Now, the fact that he has given up the use of his titles and honours, he can no longer sign off as the Duke of York or put KG, as in the Knight of the Garter, after his name, and he can no longer be referred to as the Earl of Inverness and Baron Killy-Lee, because he sometimes uses Andrew Inverness in business dealings. He can no longer be referred to as that or use that. Obviously, his HRH's titles were suspended some time ago. They're not removed, neither are the dukedoms or the earldoms. They haven't been stripped. He just is no longer using them. These things will come into effect immediately. Also, interestingly, the Giuffre family has also called for the King to go further and remove the title of Prince. He also retains his residence at Royal Lodge, which is a real stickling point for some people. Now, we know from reports that he's been asked to step away from that tenancy. He is refusing at all cost. He's been urged to move out of Royal Lodge, and they've also offered him Frogmore Cottage, which, as we all know, used to be the home of Harry and Meghan. Now, Royal Lodge is a 30-room property, and it's been said that it is completely inappropriate for his reduced status. Now, Charlotte Griffiths, who writes for the Daily Mail, told GB News, well, I think they just reached a tipping point in the royal family. It was just completely untenable for him to keep his titles. He had to give it up himself, essentially, to save further drama, further headlines, further scene stealings from other royals. So it was a rare moment, really, of self-awareness from the Duke of York to actually fall on his sword. I know he's been under a lot of pressure, and he mentioned Prince William there. I also think Prince William was very involved. Prince William is furious about the situation. He is the future of the monarchy going forward and he wants to protect it. And I'm afraid Andrew was a huge liability. He's refusing to move out of Royal Lodge. I also think he should do the honourable thing and give up that lease. I just think it's completely inappropriate for him to have a very, very large 30-room senior property very close to Prince William's new house, and it doesn't benefit his status. He's no longer the Duke of York, so he really needs to downsize. And finally, there's one further reason why this is all accumulated. It's been reported that he held meetings in 2018 and 2019 with a member of Chinese ruling Politburo named Tai Chi. Now, Tai was suspected of being the recipient of sensitive information allegedly passed to China by two British nationals accused of spying for Beijing, who are Christopher Berry and Christopher Cash. Now, this has been recently dropped by the CPS. They've both denied any wrongdoing, but the government are now getting major backlash. And the MI5 Director General has also acknowledged his frustration at the failure to put those two on trial because they've been accused of spying for China. And the CPS, which is the Crown Prosecution Service, have suddenly dropped the case, which was due to go ahead in the next couple of weeks. And it said that the case has collapsed because evidence could not be obtained from the government referring to China as a national security threat. It was reported that Prince Andrew met a senior Beijing official at the heart of the China spy scandal at least 3 times, according to reports. He held meetings in 2018 and 2019, and the Telegraph have reported that he met the senior CCP figure at least 3 times in both London and Beijing during the time period when Berry and Cash were allegedly recruited for espionage. So I have a couple of questions for you. Do you think he's fallen on his sword, or was he forced to fall on his sword from pressure from the King and the Prince of Wales? Or has he done it to save face and to do the right thing? What do you think has been the main reason that this has happened now? Do you think that it was the association with Epstein? I mean, that was published a couple of weeks ago. Why now? Do you think that there is the element of this memoir coming out on Tuesday, that there's going to be more revelations and he's jumped before he's pushed? Do you think it's the culmination of everything that I've gone through in this video? But what's the main reason for it? Do you think this is the right thing that should have been done? I personally think it should have been done a while ago. And finally, do you think that by doing this, it will silence everybody? Or is this completely irrelevant and no matter what comes out, it's still going to affect the royal family? As always, I would love to know your thoughts.
Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.